Hello. Um, we'll go ahead and get started. If you guys have any questions about anything, uh, you can ask me. I'm going to go ahead and do what I have planned for today. It shouldn't take too long, and then we can go ahead and if you have any questions on anything else, I can go over this. But this relates to the target job deconstruction. Let me pull it up actually. But this is the thing for the job deconstruction I sent out. It has the 6 steps and so forth. And what we're going to do is, let me go ahead and pull it up. Okay. Ooh, okay. Let's share my screen. So this is you guys, you have this in your the documents. It's also in with the, if you go into the web page, the Blackboard. Probably gotta be signed in. If you go to the Blackboard, it's in there also. It's and it's gonna let me sign in. I'll show you in a minute. But this document is, and I can send it out too. It's not a problem. Well, this is what the first steps are. The find 6 job postings are to be similar to what you want to do, whatever they are. So 6 job postings that are similar. It could, now if you have 4 good ones, go with 4 good ones. If you get 8 of them, go with 8 of them. But the idea is the same: is that you get job postings that are similar to what you want to do. And when they say deconstruction, what they mean is that these postings are already built up. So what you're going to do is kind of pull them apart and see what they want. And what you're looking for is those things that are common between the companies that are looking for whatever job you're looking for. It's sort of like making sure that you get, you're like going fishing. If you put 1 hook in the water, you might catch a fish. If you put 2 hooks in the water, you're twice as likely to catch a fish, and so on and so forth. So the more hooks you get in the water, the more fish you're going to catch. And that's kind of what it's getting at here. So you're going to get these 6 job postings, and what you're going to look for are those things that are similar between them. Because when you put your resume out there, you're assuming that they're going to be searching for the same criteria that they have in their job posting, right? So I mean, it makes sense that if they list those things in the job postings, when they start searching for resumes, they're going to look for those things. A lot of it is keyword stuff, that the wording is what they have. And however quirky their wording is, that's what you want to use, because that's what they're going to be searching for. Okay, so step 1 is the posting. Step 2 is to post those into a Word document. Step 3 is where we really start getting the overall gist of what we're actually doing here. So that's where I'm going to start, is on step 3. You guys can find the listings and cut and paste, and it's not too difficult. But step 3 is where we kind of start sorting things out. So you should have gotten I'm going to change this a little bit. You should have gotten that. That's not right. What am I looking for here? Here we go. It's a little bit better. Okay, you should get a file that looks like that. And so what you're going to do is list the things that they're looking for. And this is for all of them. So when they come up with something that they're looking for, you list all of those down. So everything down here, this is the jobs for the different descriptions, whatever they are. You list all those they want. And what you're going to look for is those things that are common between the job. You want to see how many of these you can stack, right? So the more of these that you can get, the better. So you're going to look for those things that are common. One of them, a little too bright for me. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, he enjoys life. Okay, so these are all the things that they look for in these job postings. And you simply go through and say, okay, the first job posting had, read through all of them and put down the ones that you find that they have for for any of them. And then you're going to go through and see which ones are in the different job postings. So, the job posting 3, you go through and check off. They don't have attention to detail in job 3. They don't have works well with others. They don't have works under pressure. So there's some things here that they don't have.
I'm sorry to cut you off really quick. Are we supposed to be looking at something? Because I'm seeing like a blank kind of screen, or it's kind of blocked off. I don't know if it's just me.
Is it you? Oh, well, let me
There it is.
try it again. Okay, can you guys see a spreadsheet now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I apologize. That's me goofing around.
No worries.
I know what it is. I closed out the one that had I had the wrong spreadsheet up. I closed it out, and then when I pulled this one up, it didn't go to it. Because I didn't know. So let me start over again. So here's what you're supposed to do. So you can get your 6 job postings up here. And you're going to go through each of those postings and you cut and paste out whatever they have for responsibilities. And you're going to go through all these and cut and paste all their stuff that they have for that. So these are all of the things that you find that they have. So, for instance, customer relations skills. You go across here and well, I guess let's see a different approach. Job 1, they want customer relations skills. They don't want customer service skills. Knowledge of legal responsibilities, they don't want. Attention to detail, they don't have that. And so you get the idea. You kind of go in here and you check off which ones they are that they're looking for. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to try again. It's not as good a one now since you guys have already heard it, but get as many hooks in the water as you can. So you're going to try to make your resume and what you're looking for online match up as close as you can to what they have listed. And the idea is that they're going to be looking for these things that are specific to what they're looking for. So they're probably doing their searches based on those. So for instance, if they want, communication skills, they'll probably put in their communication skills. And if it's not there, they probably won't take it. But the idea is to use their own words to help try to get yourself they have to get your resume in first before you'll have a chance. If they don't pick it through the data search, you're not going to do it. Right. So you're going to try to put in as many of those things as possible into your search, into your resume, so that when those things come up, that it gives you as many as possible, as many hits as possible you can for whatever your job is. And this is just a fictional job posting. It's not related to any particular thing, but you may have whatever you're looking for will probably have more specific things they're looking for. But you're going to find those things that are common. Now, some of these things you might be able to combine. If you go through here, for instance, customer relations and customer service, if you look at it, it looks like it's either or. This one has both of them, but it looks like a lot of them are either or. So a lot of times they might be looking at this as the same thing, right? They're looking for someone who's good with customers. So they might call it customer relations, they might call it customer service. They might, it could be that they distinguish it somehow in job 3. For instance, customer relations might be building up customers, building up usual customers, whereas customer service might be putting on fires. But you could both. So feel free, to combine those if you want. So customer relations, you might say, okay, I'm going to say customer relations and slash service. got it right here. That's not how you spell service. And here's why you might want to do that. You know, individually they were 3 count and 4 count. When if you add them together, it's all of them. Right? Everybody wants it if you combine them. So it is possible, you know, to combine them to get a better view of. It's not something that's in the middle that, you know, some people want, some people don't. It might be 100% based on, you know, what you're, however you classify it. Now, when you do this, make sure that you use both words when you do it in your resume, right? Because someone might be looking for customer relations, someone might be looking for customer service. So it isn't that you're going to combine them and drop out the words. The whole purpose of this is to keep the words. So you're going to keep as many words as possible in there, because that's what they'll probably be doing their search on. So if they're searching for customer service, yours comes up. If they're searching for customer relations, it comes up. So you're keeping all of those words that you want, that they're looking for. You're going to keep all those in there. All right. So going down here, the other one works well with others, collaborates with coworkers. You might leave those separate. It's possible you can combine those two. Yeah, let's go ahead and combine those. Works slash. That's what I'm doing this. I'll put in coworkers. They may put that in as a search term. Could be co-employees, could be, you know, whatever terms you come up with, work them in somehow. And then we'll move these up and say, okay, so this is an X. That's the next. That's the next. That one's still not there. So this will be. Now, if you can't combine the terms, you know, let's say that they're very similar, but you can't combine the terms. Just leave them separate. You know, because you want to make sure that you get them in there. So again, though, you're trying to keep their wording as much as you can. Now, what you're going to do down here in the count, these are the things that are probably going to be the more important of those. You know, the ones that have the higher number. And I'm going to copy it down here, and you can. I'm going to copy it down and then do a sort on it. Yeah, you can sort it here too, actually. Here, let's sort it here. We'll do a sort right from here. So you're going to highlight the whole thing. You guys, no, you're not. I'm lying to you. You're going to highlight just the data. So here's the data. So just highlight it, just drag down and drag over. Highlight it. And you're going to want to sort it by the count over here. You know, this is what you goofed it up. I'm going to highlight this area here. Hey, all right. Make it. Okay, so I want to sort by this, so I'm going to highlight the entire area. You don't have to do this, by the way. You can just go through and pick out the ones that are higher. But if you want to sort it by count, I'm going to push on the tab, and what's going to happen, if I sort it, well, here, I'll show you what happens when I sort it right here. If I sort it right here, it's going to sort on column 1. So if I say sort A to Z, you'll see that column 1 got sorted. Well, I don't want to sort it on column 1. I want to move it over to here. So if you hit the tab key, it'll move it over. So tab will move it over, you know, to column B and so forth. I want to go over to this column. So I'm on column H. And I want to hit my sort. Sort, I want largest to smallest. Usually the other way around. So anyway, so this will sort those things that are the most important. So these three are the ones that are in every single one. So when you do your resume, you got to make sure that all of those are in there. Because every company is going to be looking for them. And if they don't find it in there, then maybe they don't take your resume. They don't even look at it. Going down the list, it depends on how confident you are with your data and that sort of thing. But you go down the list and start to, those things that are, more, those things that are more important than others, I guess, is maybe the way to put it. So as you go down the list here, you'll see that there are, these things you got to have in there. These other ones, 5, I would say probably have to be in there. Going down here to 4 and so forth. If you get down here to enjoy his life, maybe you don't put that in. You can't put it in if you can work it in some way. But, if they search for enjoy his life, you might be the only one to get it. So, so down here, and when as you go through these, you can kind of see which ones are the most important. And so you're using their words to try to get as many hits on it as possible. Now, how else do you use this? Well, you use this, for instance, let's take this the Excel. I used all the good colors. Oh, there we go. So here's Excel. They want pivot tables and VLOOKUP. Now, you may not have ever used pivot tables or VLOOKUP. So what do? This is a number 5 one. What you do is, you got the internet, go up, look how to do things for pivot tables and VLOOKUP for Excel. Do 5 or 6 of them till you get good enough that you can, that you know what they're used for. And then you put it in the resume. And if you have some employer that says, I'm sick of teaching people how to do pivot tables, and they look on your thing, oh, he does pivot tables, and she does pivot tables, it's going to make a difference. So if you do find something that you don't have a skill in, it's not a problem. You simply get the skills that you need for that. And however you want to do that is fine. Some are easier than others. Excel is easier than, if they say they want experience in a nursing facility or something like that, well, you can't just do that on the internet. But if they're looking for something that is a skill or something that you can do, you can get those skills for, put it in there. You may even put an example of it. Putting an example of the pivot tables would be VLOOKUP. That would give them even more assurance, and they would say, "Oh, look at that!" They actually have examples of what we need. So this is kind of how you're going to use this. So these are all things you're going to put in your resume that you're going to post online. Again, not using your own words. You're going to use their words because they're the ones that are going to be doing the searches. And also, if there is something that you're weak in, if possible, try to make it into a strength. There's nothing wrong with that. Getting to these other ones, though, another thing that you want to hit when you're doing your resume is to hit on these areas. So not only are you going to put those in there, but you're going to also make it, especially if there's a skills section or something like that, you're going to give examples of how you did these things. So, I'm a team player. I played in sports, or I worked in the park district. I worked, organizing something, or I worked in church. I organized the choir, or whatever it is. Put those things in there. If you can demonstrate it, it's much better than that you did something. It's much better than just saying, everyone can say, oh, I'm organized. But if you actually put in examples of being organized, I organized fall activities for whatever, that's better. So putting in examples, as many as you can get, they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be perfect fits. They're looking for some evidence that you have what it takes. Working with coworkers, if you worked in a place that had coworkers, put that in. When I worked with my coworkers, I'd always know what, try to know what they wanted from me and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. Worked with customer service, customer relations. If you worked in any store that had any customers, put it in. You know, try to help customers find whatever they want. You know, if you worked at Target or you worked at wherever, you worked at McDonald's, or if you work any place that has to do with customers, put that in. There's examples of that you can do these things. And again, the reason being is you want to give not only do you want to have these keywords in there, but you also want to have examples showing that you are actually have those skills. So this is kind of like, this is actually step 3 and 4, I think. I think 4 is actually going down the list here in ranking. I think step 3 is to get at ones that are in everyone, and then it's kind of like this. This is step 3 in the handout. And then these down here are all, I think these are all step 4. So get those ones that are common, make sure that you have those down well. And the rest of these are things you're going to want to put in that are more hooks in the water. And you never know who's going to say, we need to have a team player. And I'm sick of these people that can't get along, can't work as a team. We got to work on their own. We want team players. So put that in. And again, use our terminology that the posting uses. So really, it's not about you. We usually tell you to take stuff, synthesize it, get in your own words, and put it down. You're actually not. You're putting this one. You're actually putting in their words. You're looking at the people who are actually hiring. What are their words? And those are the words you're going to use when you post your resume. Question on anyone? Okay. Going back to this one here. So this is kind of going back to the handout. This is sort of like the meat of it is step 3 and step 4. That's where you're going to actually go through and prioritize those things, and it's going to help you in your search, but also in your skill set. That if you're lacking anything, see if you can do something to get whatever you need, whatever background experience or whatever it is in that area. Even if you have to volunteer, or even if you can just visit a place too. You can't get work at a nursing home or experience. Maybe you can volunteer for a couple of weeks at a nursing home and get that experience or whatever. However, some experience is going to be better than none. So however you can get it, the better. Step 5. I hit on this a little bit last week or the first one. Companies are very afraid to hire people, just in general, and especially for people that are new, coming in your first professional job out of college, because you're an unknown quantity. You might be the greatest employee they ever had, or you might be the worst employee they ever. They don't know exactly, and they try to make it as educated decision as they can. But basically, they're going to hire you for a reason. They don't just pass out jobs. And so whatever that reason is especially many times you can get that from what they're looking for. So if they have something in there about attendance, if that's the second thing in there, that may very well be what they're looking for. We need a marketing manager who must show up every day, that sort of thing. And you may even be replacing somebody who didn't show up. So putting that into a context with the employer, they're hiring you for a reason. In the end, it comes out to making money, but it could be just for solving problems and that sort of thing. You kind of try to keep that angle when you're going in for the interview and when you're doing your resume and all that stuff. It isn't about what they can do for you, it's about what you can do for them. And if you can say that they have out here, if you quantify it, it's a little bit hard to quantify usually in your first one. So don't worry too much about this. I know it's hard to say I saved, I organized the church outing and that I saved the church this much money. It's kind of hard to use that kind of usually, but certainly you can put in there some evidence that you can actually help them with whatever they need to get, whatever they need to do. So whatever it is, put those things in there as much as you can about from the employer's point of view. 6 and 7 are really just looking at those qualities of someone If you have somebody in the past, it could be somebody you worked with. It could be a teacher, it could be a coach, it could be somebody who you recall as being a person that you'd want to be like, or someone that you would want to take some of their traits or characteristics and be like. 7 is it's similar, but it's the other end of it. 7 is when you have somebody, you can learn as much from a bad boss as a good boss. You learn from a bad boss what not to do. There's a famous director, Robert Altman. They asked him what the most influential director he ever saw was, and he said, most influential directors for me were ones I don't know their name because I see their movie and go, oh man, that was horrible. Let's never do that. His whole thing was in a movie that one bad scene can ruin it. So don't do bad scenes in movies. And the idea is exactly the same though. You had a really bad boss. That's not actually a bad experience. That's a good experience because now you know what not to do. And then down the bottom, I say you're pulling it all together. This is kind of what you're going to do when you're actually searching for it and that sort of thing. But the reason they call it job deconstruction is you're taking job postings that are already completed and you're pulling them apart and saying, what are these actually telling us? And I'm going to go back to the other one for a second. I'll do this correctly. Hey. Yeah, so you're actually deconstructing it into the parts. And so these are the parts of whatever that is they're looking for. You're deconstructing it and seeing what parts they want. Whereas looking at job posts, any one of these job postings, it may not tell you the whole story, right? And so the idea is that you get more of them and that'll give you more hooks in the water. And deconstructing the job is not just deconstructing it for one company, or one employer, just deconstructing it for the whole pool that you're looking for a job. Any questions on that? So anyway, now this is a fictitious one, but you feel free to use a spreadsheet if you want to go through in yours and plug in whatever goes in here. If you're going into nursing, or if you're going into research, or if you're going into whatever it is, management or accounting or whatever, marketing. These are going to change, obviously, but you can put all those things in there. And also, if they list key things, if they list things that are specific. So like we were talking about here with the MS, the pivot tables. If they list that you need to know economic order quantity, or if you need to, for management, or if they ask you for it could be break even stuff. Whatever it is that they ask you for, make sure you put it in there and use their words. Don't say, oh, economic order quantity is this what quantity. Put it in exactly how they say it, because that's probably how they're going to search for it, right or wrong. Any questions? Okay, that's it for that. Just so you guys know, the group thing, we're going to start that this week. And if you haven't gotten into a group yet, I would encourage you to, because as of tomorrow, I'm going to send out an email. as of tomorrow, I'm gonna assign groups. So that between today and tomorrow is your last chance to actually pick your group. If you've already picked it, that's fine. But otherwise, I'll assign you to a group. Any questions? Any questions on anything else?
With the chapter, like I'm in group 5, I believe it is, and our chapter presentation is supposed to be listed as due this coming Sunday. So would I continue on with what I already have because my group mate and I already are mostly done with it?
No, so your group is how many people do you have in your group?
Just me and one other person. We are group 4.
Group 4. You know what? You just hit on a good point. When I send out the email, if you're in a group that is already on your way, I will not put people in. But I think I'll probably, I am going to back up the due dates on.
Okay. I did just want to make sure before we like fully submit it because, like I said, the due date is listed as this coming Sunday, so I didn't want to submit something and then have to go through the trouble of misunderstanding something, resubmitting it.
Yeah. Do you want other people in your group or no?
I mean, if other people need to be in the group, that's fine. It's, like I said earlier, we have the 2 other people that are like me and the 1 other person that's in the group right now. We've known each other for a while, so we're fairly far ahead with our chapter. But if we need other people to go ahead, that's fine. We can squeeze in some work to have them help with things.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. But I'll let people know that if they already have it, you know, some groups may already be done. So if they are, then obviously I'm not going to put somebody in there that is not going and who's not going to be able to get the benefits too of working with other people.
Right.
So okay. Yeah, I'll send out an email and I'll give groups that option if they're done, if they are close enough to done that they don't want anyone else in there, that's fine too.
Okay.
But I'm going to start assigning. They should have picked them 2 weeks ago, to be honest with you. But there's still a handful that are not in the groups yet. So today's the last time. So it was the last time to choose it on your own. Otherwise, it'll be chosen for you. Any other questions?
Will you email us?
Yes.
Well, I email you what?
The groups.
Yeah, and you, when you go into the, yeah, I'll definitely, I'll email you with what group you're in. You can also click on the group and the names that show up. They show you.
All right, sounds
But
good.
I'll email if you put into a group, I'll email which group it is. Any other questions? And again,
Did you send out something that what we were supposed to be doing?
for the groups,
I said, did you send what we were supposed to be doing?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch it.
Like, what's the presentation? I was supposed to do?
Oh, I think there's something wrong with this speaker here, maybe. Let's see. Let me try this.
I was asked, did you send an assignment out to do for the group?
Oh, no, we haven't done anything with the groups yet. Nothing's been done for that. Well, there's online, there's the assignments, but I have not sent out anything that's gonna be the due. I'm gonna back up the due dates. It's mostly collaborating with them, and you'll see that there's meetings and all that kind of stuff. But I have not sent out anything on that. There's people that aren't even in the groups yet. You know,
I'm in group 1, but I don't know what we're supposed to be doing.
yeah.
Supposed to make something up. That's what
I'll send out later on this week. I'll send out more clarifications on it. for this week, especially get the deconstruction in. That's one of the. A few people have it in. Some people did it okay with it. Some people didn't. So if you want to resubmit it, you can. Resubmitting it is you won't get penalized or anything for it. But the deconstruction is the big thing for this week, and next week will certainly be focused on the grouping. Later on this week, I'll send out when I get people assigned into the groups. I'll send out sort of new due dates and when things are going to be turned in for it.
I have one more question.
Yeah, what's that?
So yesterday there was the resume, the letter, and the references too.
Yeah.
The letter, I didn't have an employer, so I just addressed it to the employer. Like, would that be an issue, or did you want us to specifically choose an employer and base it off of that?
That's probably that's okay for now. That's absolutely okay for now. And yeah, I encourage you guys to get that in. And the reason, one of the reasons why I want to get it in is that it is so that you can work it. Almost all resumes need to be worked, and that's another thing that is
Okay.
changed. So getting it in early is good. Cover letters, I generally read it for content. If it looks like there's a lot of grammatical problems with it, I hand it to my wife. So if you see a lot of, my wife was an English professor. So if you see a lot of detailed corrections, grammatical corrections, that's my wife. But I would say she knows what she's doing. So, go along with those. Those are not coming from dopey, this guy. So if you see a lot of grammatical corrections on yours when I return it, make sure that you heed those, because those are generally, and you never know what's going to turn somebody. You put a comma splice somewhere. I don't really know what a comma splice is, but every time she looks at myself and says, this comma splice is wrong, or whatever it is, and you never know. So, yeah. Oh, what week was the deconstruction? Yeah, the worksheet, I actually sent it back out. The worksheet is not well, let me pull it up. Give me 1 second, I'll pull it up here. The worksheet was not well labeled the first go around. So let me get into Blackboard. What? Oh, now it's letting me in. Okay. And I'll put it up on the screen here in just a second. I think it was actually assigned for week 2. I think we're in week 4 now, but don't worry. To be quite honestly, that as long as we get through this stuff by the end of the quarter, or the end of the semester, that's a big deal. Okay, let me change this to share screen. So if you go into Blackboard, underneath announcement, there's a complete list of files. And this is, it's a little bit of a mess. And this one is not well labeled. By the way I kind of grouped them together, I kind of grouped those things that are similar together. However, I kept the old titles just so that there wouldn't be any confusion about it. So the one that we're going to be looking at is, it's actually at the very bottom. So at the very bottom is the target deconstruction worksheet. It doesn't actually say that on the original one, but at the very bottom, it's this thing. So that is the one that I was pulling up earlier, where it had the 7 steps at the very bottom. So if you go into complete EBL300 files, go all, oops. Go all the way to the bottom, and then click on Job Deconstruction, supercharging your resume. It's labeled as the worksheet, but it's actually just that handout, the one that I just showed you. This is the one. This is what that one at the very bottom is. And again, that's it's not clearly labeled. And if and when I teach this class again, I'm definitely going to change that to say, whatever it is that you need, to call it. So it's a little easier to pull out. But so this is the job deconstruction thing. I'm going to go ahead and send it. You know what? I'm going to send it out. I'm going to send it out again in the email. So I'll do that for everybody. So I'll send it back out again. I should have sent it to you in your email. I know some people have signed up again this morning in this class until last week. So some of the people may not have it. So let me send this out. I'll send it out to everyone, and that way everybody will have the same one. And again, the major thing for that is are the steps 3 and 4 that we just looked at. Those are the main. That's where the main work comes in, is where you're looking at what the employers are looking for. Make sure you put those in your resume and cover letter or whatever they let you file when you do electronically, anyways. And then also make sure you have those skills, so that if there is a skill there, and however you can piece it together that you have those skills or give examples of it, I encourage you to do that. I think originally I had that sign for the deconstruction sign for week 2. I think I'll go ahead and change the date. I'll make it for later on this week. I'll make it by, say, Friday. I'll put that in. I think most people should have it by then. Again, it's very similar to what I just showed you. You don't have to use what I showed you. You don't have to use the you don't have to use this. You can use it. You can do it however you want. This is just the way I did it. So there's no reason why it has to look like this. But however you want to do it, the idea is exactly the same. You're going to figure out those things that are wanted by everybody, and then go down the list to things that are less and less and less. And when you come down here, while these things may not be, maybe they're important, they may not be important enough that you want to. They're less important to put in your resume. The one being, there's some things that are more important than others. And again, you're going to use their wording when you do that. Any other questions?
So is anything due this week? Because I did everything that was posted for the dates.
Okay.
I don't want to do them all.
Yeah, you don't want to do it twice, that's for sure. No, if you did you should have a reflection one in. You should have a video in. You should have the job deconstruction one is the one for today. Get the resume, cover letter, and references. Those are all.
I did that too. The only thing I didn't do was that link, because I couldn't understand how to make that stuff come on the board, and I couldn't hear you talk. So
Okay.
that's the only thing I didn't do was that link. Everything else, I look at the dates and I do them.
Okay. Did you actually do the video or no?
With the LinkedIn?
Yeah. Oh, no, not the LinkedIn. The
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll get a hold of you. I'll send you out an email. Whatever we need to do, we'll figure it out. Any other questions? Oh, are we supposed to deconstruct one job listing specifically? No, you're going to do all of them, because you're basically doing kind of all of them together. But all of them together, these are the components. Now, if it was just one of them, this would be all that they would have. But you may want to, certainly have that in there, knowledge, responsibility, and so forth. So the idea is that you're actually taking the job listing for a number of them and saying what's common. What are most of these people looking for? What are most of these employers looking for? So, any one of these jobs just has a list of things that they want. So, for instance, if you have job posting 3, maybe the first thing on the list is enjoys life. Well, you don't want to start out that you enjoy life with all of them. It's specific to that one. Maybe you do enjoy life. That's good, but it may have the wrong connotation. Enjoys life, but I mean, they're not going to show up to work or something. So anyway, you're going to do all of them at once, and then find those things that are common. So this count is really those things that are common. How common are they between the job listings? And the idea again is that it's like fishing. The more hooks you get in the water, the more fish you're going to catch. It's just the way it is. And certainly the things that are, I would say, 5 or 6. Now, if you have 5 listings or whatever, or 4 good ones, that's fine. If you have 8 ones, that's fine too. Find good listings and use those as your basis. Things that say we need a marketing manager and have nothing else there, that's not going to help. So if they look for those job listings that you think are something that are similar to what you'd be looking for, and use those as your basis. And you're going to deconstruct it, means you're going to back out how they constructed it. You're going to back out to how as a group these were all constructed. And again, using their words. Don't rephrase these. Try to keep as much as possible their phrasing of them, because that's probably what they're looking for. So this is really that when they talk about deconstruction, this is really the deconstruction. How do they build up these job postings? And those things that are important for putting in there. Questions? Okay, well, if you have any questions, and by the way, you guys, I can always do a private Zoom meeting. So if there's something that really doesn't make sense to you or something like that, we can always set up a time for a private Zoom meeting. So I have no problem with doing that. The only reason I encourage people to join these Zoom meetings is that if you do have a problem with it, there's probably other people that do too. And so that's the only reason why I encourage it. But if you're struggling with something, you want to clarify something or something, I can do it privately too, or even email if that works out better for you. I don't have FaceTime, but I can't do the phone thing. I probably should get FaceTime. I think I got the. Well, I think I make it. I got on the Android phone. So I'm sure they make it for it. Any questions? Okay, well, that's all I have. And again, yeah, the job deconstruction is actually a very. It sounds like a funny exercise, but it's actually a very good one because it is about it. If they don't pull your resume, you're not going to get a job. I mean, that's just common sense. And so the more things that you can get to have your resume looked at, the better. Okay. All right. Well, I will post this shortly. Although you guys have already seen it, I'll post this shortly, and I'll send out an email right after I close this out about us getting about the deconstruction handout, so that make sure everybody has it. Okay. Questions? All right. I will talk to you guys later then. And you go ahead and send me an email if you want anything else, or if you want to Zoom in or whatever. Okay. Goodbye. You guys want to see the dancing dog? I'll do the dancing dog. Yeah, when the dog dances, that's how you know the video is over. Okay. See you guys.